right, guys, we are back with another edition of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars a lot because they're my favorite team. Pritesh is going to be doing the Atlanta Falcons, but today I want to focus on the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. I'm extremely excited about our linebacker room in particular. I'm actually really excited about our corners as well, our D-line. I think our safety room is going to be solid. Really going to look forward to seeing Mike Caldwell's defense. This defense has a lot of potential. So I'm going to go over the defense today, and then probably in a few days you'll see my offensive side of the ball. I kind of did a team overview, but I'm going to go into depth now that we've had some like OTAs happen. We've had reporters kind of report of different players and stuff. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And then the next time we will talk about the offense. All right, so I personally think it's a little bit funny. There's been reports that K'Lavon Chaisson has been fueled by the addition of Travon Walker. Those of you that know, we kind of wasted a pick on him. He has not performed to the first round hype. I think he was drafted in like 18 or 19. And he hasn't performed. Definitely hasn't performed as a first round draft pick, but hasn't performed as a very good defensive player for us, unfortunately. Kind of like Taven Bryan, he didn't perform for us. But regardless, there's definitely, I hope he does good. I mean, I don't want him to be a bust, right? And I don't think anybody actually wants to see him be a bust. But if he does perform well, this opens up a lot of options. So obviously, the main thing, if K'Lavon Chaisson can play well, we're going to have a solid sub-linebacker backup, right? So Travon Walker won't have to play 100 defensive snaps a game. He can sit out for a little bit. But the other big thing, Travon Walker is very versatile. He can play multiple positions on defense. He can play interior line, outside line, linebacker. So if K'Lavon Chaisson really does have a breakout kind of year, Travon Walker is not subject to just one position. They can use him somewhere else. Obviously, we want to see Travon Walker at one position for the majority of the year, unlike college where he was everywhere, so his stats don't really show his true potential. But I think there's two things that we really need to see from this defense, and that's Travon Walker be the guy on our defense. And number two, whatever happens, we hope whoever's on the other side of the edge, whether it's K'Lavon Chaisson, Travon Walker, obviously it's going to be Travon Walker for the majority of the year. But if, like I said, if K'Lavon Chaisson can play well and we can move Travon Walker around, that would be awesome. But the second thing we need to see is Josh Allen have a breakout year again. He's the cornerstone of this defensive line, and whoever is on the opposite side of him needs to create pressure so Josh Allen can eat. I said it on the last video. If we can see Travon Walker help Josh Allen get 10 sacks, it was a W pick. I don't care what Aiden Hutchinson does. If Travon Walker can help improve Josh Allen back to what we think he can be, because he's had a couple down years now, then it's a W first round pick, and Trent Baalke made the right choice. So that's like the two big things I want to see just from Travon Walker. I want to see K'Lavon Chaisson step up because we picked an edge rusher at number 1. And I want to see Josh Allen step up because he's got an awesome defender on the other side of him. With that being said, there's a lot of reports that Tyson Campbell has been playing very good in OTAs. Granted, it's not padded up, but Tyson Campbell, I want to see be a true number 1 corner. I love Shaquille Griffin. I like what he brings to the team. He's one of those guys on the field and off the field that you love to have in the community. And but the thing is, I don't want to pay him forever. Tyson Campbell's only 1 year into his contract. I would love to see, by next year being able to say, you know what, Shaquille Griffin, we don't have to pay anymore. Granted, I would love to see Shaquille Griffin stay on the team for a long time. They played different positions, but, if we don't have to pay someone like that, imagine who we could grab on offense or a safety or something. When the free agency starts, our cap space can be somewhere else. Like I said, would love to see Griffin and Campbell be a good duo, but like I said, you got to think of long term as well. So Campbell, I really hope, is a stud. And these guys that turn out to be studs, my big goal is that they stay, even if we have to pay them a lot. I just want to see us get to a point where we're paying players. Obviously, we saw Cam Robinson take an extension here. I know a lot of, he's not the best left tackle, but he's not a bad one either. And I think if we can even keep mediocre players, it's a good start. Because the last 2 years have been terrible. Really the last 3 years, but you can argue the 2018 season wasn't that bad. But 2019, 2020, 2021, terrible. So then on the other, a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball, I want to see a dominant defensive line and linebacker core where players like Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, the rushing attack of the Ravens we play this year. We play the Eagles, who I think are going to kind of be a running team. I really want to see us contain their running backs. I think the Jets are going to be kind of a running team as well. I don't think they trust Zach Wilson enough to let him air it out all the time. We play them. So I would like to see this D-line and this linebacker core contain the run. Because if you can shut down the run game and you can get to the quarterback, you're in good shape. So kind of went over the D-line, corners, linebackers, because I think the linebackers are going to be really good under Mike Caldwell. We have two really young studs, and we have a nice veteran presence with, who did we just pick up? Foyesade Aluakon. I think he led the league in tackles last year. This guy, and what's crazy? A lot of people were like, oh, this guy misses a lot of tackles. Can you imagine if he would have hit all of his tackles? I mean, he already led the NFL. So this guy, awesome pick. And then Fatukowski, I can't wait to watch him on the D-line. I think our run defense is going to be really good. I think we're going to struggle a little bit early with the passing attack, but I think we have solid depth at corner. I think our safety room is actually underrated a little bit. Rayshawn Jenkins a good safety when he's not trying to get flags. He has trouble containing his emotions, which I mean, it is what it is. The last year it hurt us because we weren't scoring, and they were, and then they were getting free yards. But if we can put up some points on offense, I mean, I think Rayshawn Jenkins' penalties aren't going to hurt us that bad. Last year it was over. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you're down 21 and he's getting a taunting call or unsportsmanlike conduct and stuff. That's really bad when you're losing by 20. But when you're up 7, I mean, granted it's not a penalty you want to see, but at the same time, at least your defense is getting fired up from it. I know a lot of people aren't liking Andrew Wingard, but Daniel Thomas, solid safety. Andre Sisco, I think, is going to be really good. I really like all those guys. And then our corner room, we've got really good depth. I like the depth this year from cornerback and safety than the past 4 years, really. Since Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, and all of them were on the same team. And then, like I said, we have the young linebackers and Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma. And then I think Shaquille Quarterman's not going to be a bad fourth guy. Devin Lloyd and Aluakon, I think, is going to be solid. And Quarterman, I think, played well when he didn't have to play the whole game. and would sub in. I think he made the most of his opportunities, just like Rudy Ford, I think, made a lot of good opportunities last year. There was one specific play against the Buffalo Bills where Rudy Ford ran up the middle on a blitz and caused Josh Allen to throw the interception to Josh Allen. So Rudy Ford made some good plays. And Andrew Wingard, I mean, he's not a top 30 safety in the league, but I do think he plays hard. And I know that in the NFL, like as fans, people don't want to hear that. I do personally think he plays hard, and I think he's got a lot of heart, and I think he is a leader in that locker room. And I think his special teams presence is felt as well. And I'm hoping Andre Cisco takes some notes because I think Andre Cisco is a way better athlete. But I'm hoping eventually we can get to that transition where Andre Cisco takes over for Rayshawn Jenkins or Andrew Wingard. I know the big thing is positions in the NFL at the safety position. There's a strong safety and a free safety. Rayshawn Jenkins is a strong safety, and so is Andre Cisco. Andrew Wingard is a free safety. Andre Cisco is not a free safety. So this whole switch them in and out, like that's not how it works in the NFL. Daniel Thomas would replace Andrew Wingard. And Andre Cisco's there to replace Rayshawn Jenkins. I think Rayshawn Jenkins is actually on the last year of his contract. He's one of those contracts I wouldn't mind giving up next year. But other than that, I'm really liking our defense. And I do like Rayshawn Jenkins on the team. I just don't like his penalties. So like I said, I want to see us have a top 10 run defense this year. And I'd like to see a top 20 pass defense. And that in itself will help Trevor Lawrence far more than a number one wide receiver would. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll be going over the offense next. I'll probably do special teams next with the offense because there's not really much to talk about on the special teams. I think Logan Cook's going to be top 10 punter in the league. And then we'll see about the kicker position. Who's our kicker as of right now? Ryan Santoso. I don't know who he is, so I'll have to do some research on that first. And then Laviska Shenault's been taking some punt returns and stuff in OTAs until Jamal Agnew gets back. But Jamal Agnew, one of the best returners in the league, so when he's back, this team's going to be set on special teams. Because I think even though we don't have a lot of household names, we have a pretty decent special team. Last year, the big issue was Matthew Wright couldn't kick it out of the end zone. Logan Cook was hurt half the year, so he wasn't able to kick the ball on the kickoffs and stuff. So if we get that changed, I think our special teams is fine. I really do. We extended that boy Ross Matisic. We're set. We're set in stone, baby. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Remember, go Jags. Hate the Titans. Hate the Texans. Hate the Colts. Hate the Steelers. I mean, just hate all the AFC teams and all the NFC teams except the Jaguars. Anyway, guys, we'll see you guys on the next Jaguars talk. And we'll talk about the offense, maybe dive a little bit more on the special teams, even though I think I just covered it all. But see you guys in the next one.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PIPodcast and on Twitter at PIPodcasters. Until next time.